Hey everybody, this is David at Barnyard Bees. Today we're not getting into the beehives. I'm going to talk about how important it is to have bees as our pollinators. We'll walk around these blueberry bushes here and I want to show you, and I'm going to show you some other trees too, that how much these bees benefit the farmer, the people that have orchards. People that have orchards cannot operate without honeybees. There's a few wild bumblebees that do pollinate, but not near enough. If you ever go out in the springtime when there's a lot of trees blooming, apple trees, blueberries, whatever, oranges in the Florida, California, almonds, you may see a handful of bumblebees, but if we had to depend on those, it wouldn't make it. They would make a very, very small crop. It would never, ever work. Without honeybees, they are responsible for so much of our food supply. It's scary thinking what would happen if we lost the honeybee. Now, what I recommend to people is if you don't have honeybees, try to get you some honeybees, but if you can't, if some reason that you're allergic to them or you just don't have the property to do it, then try to find somebody, take your part, try to find somebody and sponsor them as a beekeeper and share the honey with them. I'm gonna go around and show you here. You can see the blueberries. Now these things, it makes a world of difference, and also in how big they are. If you get very low pollination, a lot of times they'll be very small, puny looking crops. These berries here are huge. See if we can show you some here that where you can get some good light on them and see. And they're just packed. You can see there's my thumb compared to the size of the blueberry. They're almost the size of grapes. They're that big. You see this blueberry bush here. It's a young blueberry bush, but just absolutely packed. These come in bloom in May. They start producing around the 1st of June. They last pretty much all the way up and through July. So they go about a month and a half, it depends. It was a little bit later this year, I think because we had a cold spring. And here's a pear tree, and I want you to look at this. Look how loaded that pear tree is. These pears will continue to grow and they'll get bigger. We trimmed this tree this year. It needed it really bad. So it's absolutely packed. And if you look at my garden, the green beans, we picked them so you won't be able to tell. The corn, everything is dependent on the honeybees. Now the corn can pollinate some by wind, but it's really not enough. You can see the amount of ears on this corn. It just, look at that. This is Ambrosia Corn. I've talked about this on Homestead Hacks. I do the videos on farming on this. But since this is about honeybees, I wanted to talk about it on Barnyard Bees. Look at the ears. There is absolutely, these are packed. We planted these really thick too, and they're still producing a full-size crop. Ambrosia is a small, short corn. It don't get very tall. It gets about 5 foot at the max, and that's it. But it produces a very, very nice size ear that is excellent eating. Look down through here at the tomato plants. They're absolutely packed out with tomatoes. And then you come over here in this humongous cucumber patch and squash on this side. The honeybees make a world of difference. Without them, you would just have, it would be, there wouldn't be hardly any crops on it at all. There'd be a few here and there from the bumblebees. Here's another pear tree, and it's just absolutely packed out with pears. And then you get into our apple trees here, loaded out. They have good producing apples. I never spray these. I've always been very lucky with our trees and our fruits and vegetables. I never spray them. I never fertilize them. These also got trimmed this past winter. There was the branches was hanging to the ground really low, and it was getting hard to mow under them. But we'll walk up through here. This is all the results of honeybees. If it wasn't for the honeybees that I had, you wouldn't see this. This is a Granny Smith tree. And you talk about baking apples. Hear that thunder? I was just pulling some Nucs there a little while ago and had to stop for a little bit because of the thunderstorm. Look at the Granny Smith apples. These will be ready probably in about another month. We'll start picking those, but you can see they don't have hardly any bug bites or anything on them. They do really good. And look at these trees over here. These originally was supposed to be on a Red Delicious apple, but they wasn't. They are a good eating apple. I'm not exactly sure what they are, but look. And these will all get full size, except for some of these right here that are clustered up. I mean, look at that. That's like grapes that are in a cluster. And they will still produce a fairly decent sized apple. They'll knock each other off. Look at that cluster of apples right there. They should have been thinned, I know that. They overshoot when you have honeybees. Look at that apple tree right there. You can't tell me that honeybees don't make a difference. You can see where the Japanese beetles have ate a little bit up on the leaves. But look how thick those apples are. That is absolutely loaded, and it's all due because of the honeybees. So, like I said, be careful too in your own yard. Be careful if you have people or neighbors that have honeybees. Be careful what you spray. Be careful with the weed killers. With the pesticides and stuff, because if you get honeybees that are feeding on something, you could kill somebody's hive. So just to kind of put a word of caution out to everybody, be careful what you put even in your own yard, because we need the honeybees. Without them, we're in big trouble. And in my opinion, and I've always had this mindset, is the more people that raise honeybees, the more chances that you'll have that will have having more honeybees in the future. It was kind of late in the year when they got in touch with us to ask if we could help pollination for them. But it just goes to show you how desperate people are, because they couldn't find anybody. They couldn't find anybody that could help them out. So that's what Bill, the guy that manages the Freeman farm, he asked us if we could possibly put a few hives out there to help them out, because they're in desperate need of. They got tons of apple trees. You can check it out on Homestead Hacks. You can look at the video where I'm over there on the farm. And actually, I think I got some videos on Barnyard Bees as well where I was over there. I'll put them up in the description where you can see them. Where I'm over there on the farm tending the honeybees. So next year I'm gonna try to get them a couple more over there and just help them out a little bit. But it's very important, very, very important. So if you ever thought about sponsoring a beekeeper, know somebody wants to get into beekeeping, that's one way you can be a part of it. So I just wanted to put that little message out today about the importance of pollination, and kind of spread the word, help spread this video, because it'll kind of make people a little bit more aware by seeing the results of the crops and how well they do because of honeybees. This wouldn't be a third of this here that you see now if there was no honeybees on our property. So that's about it, folks. I'm going to end the video. Don't forget, please help share our videos, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Barnyard Bees.